It's a pleasure to rise to speak on Bill 57, but I want to just take a moment to let the auto workers in Oshawa know that the Green Party stands behind you. Ontario should be leading the electric vehicle revolution, not losing jobs to it. Now, Madam Speaker, Bill 57 touches on 65 pieces of legislation. So in the limited amount of time I have, I'm going to talk about 3 key areas in which I'm concerned that Bill 57 undermines our democracy. The first is losing oversight from the Environmental Commissioner, the Child Advocate, and the French Language Services Commissioner. Secondly, it's undermining the independence of the remaining legislative officers that serve this Assembly. And third, it's opening the door back up to big money in politics. Madam Speaker, dismantling the checks and balances on government is wrong and it's dangerous. Our democracy is stronger with independent officers of the government monitoring government policy. Independent officers signal what is valuable to our politics, what is valuable to our province. And until Bill 57, a clean environment, protecting the most vulnerable children, and standing up for French language services was important to the Ontario government. And if this was about saving money, then maybe we could have a bit of a debate, because we do have to get Ontario's deficit under control. But these moves to undermine the independence of our legislative officers are not about saving money. They're about a power grab. They're about removing the checks and balances that hold government accountable. That's why it's wrong. That's why I'll be fighting against it, because I believe in oversight, independent oversight of government. Secondly, and most troublesome, is that Bill 57 undermines the independence of legislative officers that have served this Assembly, and that is incredibly dangerous. Bill 57 gives new authority to a majority government to arbitrarily suspend independent officers of this legislature without cause. Oh, I know. That's exactly why we need these protections in place from whatever majority government is in place. And the fact that Bill 57 takes those checks and balances away is incredibly dangerous and very troubling. That is exactly why earlier today I asked for a point of privilege to determine whether independent officers of the legislature are protected from intimidation, because that's what Bill 57 does. So if, let's say, the Integrity Commissioner is conducting an investigation of the Premier's office and the government doesn't like it, with a majority vote in this House, they can suspend the Integrity Commissioner. Or if the House isn't sitting, with the decision in Cabinet, they can suspend the Integrity Commissioner. They can do that to the Auditor General. They can do it to the Clerk of the Legislature even. That is wrong. Think of the battles the previous government had with the Auditor General. And I know the members opposite, when they were on the opposition benches, used to complain about that, and rightfully so. But imagine if the previous government could have just suspended the Auditor General with a majority vote. That's exactly what the government is proposing to do. Already Canadians know and Ontarians know that far too much power is concentrated in the Premier's office, and this bill concentrates even more power into the Premier's office. And then the third point I want to make, Madam Speaker, is that Bill 57 opens the door to big money in politics again. I can tell you, I worked so hard as a leader of the fourth political party without even a seat in this legislature to fight to get big money out of politics. And I will continue to fight to keep it out of politics. Going back to the Wild West of donations, opening things up for cash for access events is wrong. Having donors, I fought so hard in the legislation, the previous government's legislation, to have donors certify that they were not collectively, individually, but collectively then donating as members of a corporation or union. as a way to make sure there weren't loopholes around the ban on corporate and union donations to political parties. Bill 57 opens the door to that back up. And so I ask the members opposite, why reopen these checks, these accountability mechanisms? We saw how much trouble the previous Liberal government got into with their cash for access fundraising events, with the Wild West approach to fundraising. And all of us worked so hard. Matter of fact, there was all-party support to get rid of big money in politics. So why reopen it up? And so I'm asking members of the government to amend Bill 57. Let's all stand up. Let's all stand up to keep big money out of politics, to maintain the independence of legislative officers, and to ensure transparency and accountability in this government. Thank you.